So let me get this straight. You just don't care if someone's on food stamps. No, not really. Do you actually care if someone has to use SNAP benefits? Of course I do. I mean, you're telling me that I've got to work, and meanwhile other people just get a free ride? First of all, it is not a free ride. The average SNAP payment per person is less than $200 a month, which, if you haven't been to the store in a while, is like a gallon of milk and 6 blueberries. Yeah, but I've still got to work, and those people don't. You do know that 60% of SNAP recipients are under the age of 17 or over the age of 60, which means that 1/3 of them legally can't work, and the other third of them probably physically can't. What about the last third? Of the 1/3 of working age SNAP recipients, over 50% of them actually do work, and another 20% of them have worked within the past year. Well, if they're working a job, why can't they afford food? That's a great question, and we're gonna get back to that in about 50 seconds. Who are you talking to? Hopefully someone that needs to hear this. Okay, fine, but then what about the working age SNAP recipients that don't work? Chronic health conditions, disabilities, taking care of loved ones, going to school, lost a job. I mean, there are so many other reasons. So you just don't believe that anybody is taking advantage of the system. I'm sure there are people who are gaming the system, but when 89% of recipients are at or below the poverty line, it's very clear the majority of these people just need some help. Well, if I don't need the benefits, then why should I pay for it? Correction, you don't need them right now, but you, like most Americans, are one loss of a job or one bad medical bill away from needing them in the future. I just think we need to make it more efficient with less corruption. Everyone on both sides of the argument agrees with that. The difference is, if 25 people came to me and said they were hungry, and I suspected that one of them might be lying, I would still choose to feed all 25 people rather than engage in collective punishment. So you're just not open to having a conversation about this. I'm open to having a conversation, but we're having the wrong conversation. See, rather than arguing over why a tiny percentage of people may or may not be taking advantage of a social safety net, we need to be talking about why, in the richest country to have ever existed on this planet, where 30% of the food that we produce gets thrown away, do 1 in 8 of our citizens need help affording basic necessities, even when the majority of them are working for corporations that make billions in profit. And it scares me that so many of you have been tricked into believing that's not the real conversation.